Happy Halloween, Biscuit. Come along, Biscuit, said the little girl. We're going to the pumpkin patch. It's Halloween. Woof! Just look at all the pumpkins. Which one should we pick, Biscuit? Woof! Biscuit, where are you? Woof, woof! Funny puppy, there you are. Let's put a candle in the big jack-o'-lantern. Woof! Silly puppy, come out of there. Woof, woof! How do you like my Halloween costume, Biscuit? Woof! Oh, Biscuit, you found your own Halloween costume. Woof, woof! Look, Daisy, it's a ghost. Woof! Meow. Don't be afraid. See, it's only Biscuit. Woof, woof! It's time to go trick-or-treating. Woof! Who did you find, Biscuit? Bow wow, it's Puddles! Let's see if Grandma and Grandpa recognize us. Knock, knock, trick or treat. Look, there's a special treat for all of us. Woof, woof. Just look at our treats. Halloween is fun, isn't it, Biscuit? Aw, good night, Biscuit. Happy Halloween. The end. The Littlest Witch. Wilma was a witch. She lived with her family in the mistiest part of the spooky woods. There were many witches in Wilma's community, but Wilma was the littlest one. It was almost Halloween, and Wilma couldn't wait. Last year, she was too little for the broom flying demonstration at the Halloween Bash. This year, she knew she'd be ready. But practice didn't go as planned. Wilma joined broom practice day after day. She knew the routine by heart, but her little arms and legs just couldn't hold the broom to do the spins, turns, and stunts the other witches could do. At the end of another tough practice, Wilma's mother kissed her nose. "Next year you're going to dazzle us all," she said. Still, Wilma was determined to do something special for the big Halloween party. She visited her sister Hazel. Hazel was busy crafting a scream potion for the celebration. "Add those herbs to the pot," Hazel instructed. Wilma added a pinch of herbs. "More," Hazel said. "Lots more." But the jar slipped from Wilma's tiny hands and landed in the pot. The potion screamed so loud it burst into a gooey green mess. Hazel wiped Wilma's eyes. "Maybe Aunt Ruby needs some help," she said. Wilma hurried to Aunt Ruby's house. She was one of the best spellcasters in the spooky woods, and she was working on her biggest spell yet. Aunt Ruby consulted her book. "I need the slime from one toad," she said. "I can catch a toad," Wilma offered. Wilma pounced, but the big toad slipped right through her small hands. She fell head first into the pond. Wilma marched over to the broom studio. If she couldn't fly in the demonstration, maybe she could make the new brooms. The witches showed her how to gather the twigs around the pole and secure them with string. But bundling the twigs wasn't easy. Before she knew it, Wilma had tied herself up to a broom. "We don't have time for silliness," one of the witches told her. Wilma ran to her grandmother's cottage. "I'm still too little," she cried. "Nonsense," Nani said. "I was just finishing your new shoes for the big night." Wilma stepped into her beautiful new shoes. They were much too big. "Oh dear," Nani said. "I'll need to make some adjustments." Wilma roamed through the spooky woods. She was sad. She knew there had to be one special thing she could do this Halloween, even if she was little. Wilma rounded the corner and bumped right into her friend, May the Mummy. May was sad too. "There's no park for me on Halloween," Wilma whispered. May nodded. "I was ready to do the mummy dance this year, but now my family is stuck home with the monster mumps." Before long, Halloween was here. All of the spooky woods joined the party. There was dancing and magic, yummy food, and music. But the witches looked confused. They all flew in different directions. The crowd got quiet. "The director is missing," Wilma gulped. Wilma looked around. Then she had an idea. "Quick, May, give me a boost." May helped Wilma climb onto her shoulders. Now she was very tall. Wilma got the witches' attention and began conducting the routine. The witches lined up and started again, following Wilma's directions. The broom flying performance finished with a flurry of spins and dips. Everyone laughed and gasped and clapped and cheered. The witches stole the show with their fantastic demonstration, all thanks to Wilma and May. Once again, Wilma and May proved that being little can be a big fun. But it's the magic of friendship that makes it even sweeter. Puppy Dog Pals, a haunted Halloween. It's a windy Halloween morning, and Bob is decorating the house. Rolly is already in his costume, but he can't find his brother. "Bingo, where are you?" he calls out. "Happy Halloween!" Bingo shouts, jumping from behind a pile of pumpkins. "You spooked me," Rolly giggled. "I'm a pupkin, get it? A puppy and a pumpkin," Rolly says proudly. Rufus and Cupcake walk by. "We have to stay away from the far end of the park tonight," Cupcake says loudly. "Why?" Bingo says. "Every Halloween, a spooky wooky ghost called the Haunted Howler haunts the far end of the park. He sounds like this. Howl!" After Rufus and Cupcake leave, Rolly turns to Bingo. "I don't want to meet a howly ghost." "Don't worry," Bingo says. "There's no such thing as ghosts." Then the pups hear their neighbor Chloe. "Aw, we'll never find it. Halloween is ruined," she says sadly. Bob and the pups check with Chloe, her mom, and her friend Stephen to see what's wrong. "We have a costume emergency," Chloe sighs. She explains that she made her own Halloween costume and hung it outside to dry, but the wind blew it away. "I don't want to go trick-or-treating without my costume." Stephen offers to share his costume, but Chloe says she wants to wear the one she made because it's flowy and it glows in the dark. "Flowy and glowy? That does sound like a cool costume," Bingo says. "We're going on a special Halloween mission," Rolly tells Bingo. "Let's collar up." Luckily, the pups' high-tech collars fit over their costume. Mission: find Chloe's Halloween costume. The pups start their search. "I can't wait to find Chloe's costume," Bingo says. Rolly stops. "But she never said what she was going to be." "Well, she said it was glowy and flowy," Bingo explains, "so we'll look for something like that." Rolly finds something glowy, but not flowy. A jack-o'-lantern? He poses next to it. "Look, I'm a Rolly lantern." "Over here," Bingo calls as he spots something flowy, but not glowy. The pups slowly walk into the park. As the sun sets, the park gets spookier and spookier. Owls hoot in the trees. Bats flutter in the sky. Suddenly, they hear a scary sound. "Howl!" Rolly gulps. Is that the howly ghost?" But it's something even scarier. "Cupcake!" "I'm looking for Rufus. Have you seen him?" she asks. "Nope, but we did hear the haunted howler," Rolly says. "There is no haunted howler," she tells them. "I made up the story to scare you. Glad it worked," she added with a smile. Then she left to find Rufus. "Well, we still need to find Chloe's costume," Bingo says. "Let's go." But Rolly has had enough spooky surprises for one night. "Don't worry," Bingo tells him. "As long as we're together, there's nothing to be afraid of." Rolly takes a deep breath. "Okay, let's do this." The pups continue walking through the park. Suddenly, Cupcake runs past them screaming, "The haunted howler is real!" The pups The puppies turn to see a flowy, glowy creature running towards them. Oh! Wait a second, Rolly says. That looks like Chloe's costume. He marches up to the haunted howler and pulls the costume off. I ain't afraid of no ghost costume. Underneath the flowy, glowy costume was Rufus. Just then, the pups hear kids calling, "Trick or treat!" We better get this costume back to Chloe fast, Bingo says. Rufus, will you give us a ride? Rufus nods, and the puppies jump onto his back. Rufus runs as fast as he can. They have almost made it to Chloe's house when another gust of wind blows the costume out of the pups' mouths. They watch it fly through the air, around a tree, and over the wall, where it lands on Chloe's porch, right where she left it. My costume! It came back, she shouts. We couldn't have done it without you, Rufus, Rolly says. Hi, Pa. Ding dong. Bob answers the door. Ooh, a cool robot and spooky ghost. Guess what, Mr. Bob? It's me, Chloe says. My costume came back. Bingo and Rolly smile at their friend. Mission accomplished.